Hi, this is Sally. Last Friday, I asked you to reflect about why we take certain supplements at certain timings, or do you actually think about that? And does it have any effect, the time we take our food and our supplements? So I'm here today to share with you my routines. And as I was preparing, I realized that I took most of my supplements in the morning and at night. I hardly take any in the afternoon. I'm going to divide this video into two so that it's not too long. Okay, so in the morning, what happens is when I get up in the morning, after I go to the bathroom, I would first take my herbal cleanse. So my herbal cleanse is actually it's actually my daily cleansing of my colon. And I think this is super important because I have trouble going to the toilet every other day. So I really need it to actually clean my colon, as well as because the food that I eat are not home cooked. So it's really important for me to remove the toxins and any parasites or any heavy metal poison that I eat inevitably with the food and the meat. So I do this in the morning because the herbal cleanse has usually almost like the first thing in the morning, because the herbal cleanse has to be taken at least half an hour before my breakfast. So what I do is I'll take the herbal cleanse, which has psyllium husk, apple pectin is a mixture, and I'll drink it with my apple cider vinegar with honey and with water to give it a bit of a taste. So generally, the apple cider and honey is actually a concentrate that I make, and it's in a bottle, and so it's very easy to prepare. You just pour a little bit into the water, and my water that I'm using is actually a reverse osmosis. So I don't really believe in drinking tap water. It's actually quite unclean, the tap water. So the best is actually distilled, and I hope to buy my distiller maybe in about 2 months time, because my machine for the RO water it's breaking down. So I usually do that, and then with my herbal cleanse. Then after that, what I do is I will just go around, I either just packing my bed, so there's a bit of a time there, and this is also the time when I do my exercise. So I don't really like to do exercise that much. So there are two types of exercises that I do. I do a rebounding. I think rebounding is one of the simplest, easiest way to have your aerobics. And because of the up and down, right, I make sure that instead of running, which can be quite impactful on the knees, and you shouldn't run if you're overweight. It's not very good on the knees itself. So I do my rebounding, and I do that for about 20 minutes. And normally what I do is I also listen to a message or watch a video. I used to listen to music, but now because my taste of music changed, I can't really listen to classical music and rebound, so that doesn't really work for me. But I do my exercise. Currently I'm trying out a new program that takes less than 20 minutes, and there's more strength training involved, and it also gets a heartbeat rate up. So I will share more about that package that I'm currently in my second week. So I'll share more about it once I've completed the full 8 weeks. So after I get my heart rate up, right? Sometimes what I would do, I generally forget, but if I'm quite tired, I would actually take pure coconut oil, because remember I had my herbal cleanse, but I can't take my breakfast yet. So and I'm going to exercise, and I will take coconut oil in order to help me burn the energy as I exercise. But I don't really take, theoretically that would be what I do, but I generally don't do that because the exercise period is pretty short. However, I do take my coconut oil if I happen to be having a late breakfast. Yeah, so that is to satiate my hunger, and also to give me some energy in that window of period before I actually have food to eat. So after my exercise, where my heartbeat rate is up and all that, this is generally when I do my coffee enema. Yeah, coffee enema, in my previous sharing, I told you that it's actually liver and blood cleansing, and I purposely have my rate up, and then maybe my body is a bit warmed up, my blood is flowing a little faster because I'm no longer so lethargic. So hopefully that actually stimulates my body a little bit. So when I do my coffee enema, maybe, you know, the blood can move faster and then you get cleansed more times, because technically in the 15-minute coffee enema, the blood is cleansed about 5 times, because the blood travels in takes an estimated 3 minutes to travel through the body. Yeah, and so in previously, a couple of, I think about a year ago, I used to take yogurt in the mornings. I just stopped because I was quite busy and I wasn't very into my health. That's why it's quite important to be involved in the community, because it helps you keep track. So although I have a yogurt maker, I just stopped. And recently, when I did some research again, I was reading about the circadian rhythm and the circadian diet, and the doctor who was writing the book said that yogurt would be a good choice. So I'm planning to bring that in again. I've already brought my organic milk powder. It's important that you make your own yogurt. I mean, because if you buy yogurt off the supermarket, there's going to be lots of sweeteners and preservatives added in, and that defeats the purpose of having a healthy breakfast. So I bought my organic milk powder. When I'm all ready to make it, I realized that I've misplaced my container, so I need to purchase that. Yeah, so what I did in the past was I have my organic yogurt, and what I do is I'll add flaxseed oil. Flaxseed oil absorbs better with yogurt, and also I'll add honey to it, and that would be a healthy breakfast. Yeah, so currently I'm missing that, but that would be what could be happening in the next 2 weeks. The other thing that sometimes I take is if I have a long day, and if it's going to be quite energy draining day. So for example, if I'm conducting classes, like on Saturdays I have back-to-back classes, I have, you know, a few students in front of me, and and I have to stand up and do presentations and, you know, walk about and all that. Then I would take my CoQ10. It's actually for the heart, and it will give me energy throughout the day. Also, if it's a long day, the night before, I generally try to sleep a bit earlier. But because I know that sleeping is really important, I still struggle with that because I like to do my readings in the evenings, and that tends to eat into my sleeping time. But ideally, I'll try to sleep before 12. I'm aiming for 10:30. But if I know I have a long day, I make it a point every night before to take at least 2 vitamin C's. Yeah, so that's my morning routine. And in my next video, I'll share with you my night routine. See you in the next.